Once upon a time, there was a young man who lived in a small village at the foot of a mountain. This young man was known throughout the village for his laziness. He would spend his days lying in the shade of a tree, snoozing and wandering off in fantasyland, while the other villagers toiled away in the fields and workshops. One day, a venerable monk came to the village and called the young man over to him. The monk said, "My son, I have a task for you. I want you to climb the top of that mountain and bring back a single leaf from the highest peak." The young man looked up at the mountain and scoffed. "That's impossible," he said. "I'm far too lazy to climb all the way up there." The monk smiled and said, "Oh, but you see, the leaf I seek is not an ordinary leaf. It's a divine leaf that never withers. It is in the cave on the other side of the mountain that can only be reached by climbing to the top and descending to the other side." The young man was fascinated. He had never heard of this leaf, and the thought of such a special task sparked his curiosity, and so, he decided to take up the monk's challenge. The climb was long and arduous, and the young man soon found himself out of breath and sweating profusely, but as he climbed higher and higher, he began to feel a sense of exhilaration and excitement that he had never felt before. When he finally reached the mountain peak, he was exhausted but elated. He looked out at the breathtaking view before him and felt a sense of accomplishment that he had never experienced before, but the real challenge lay ahead. The young man had to descend to the other side of the mountain and find the cave where the leaf was said to be located. The descent was even more harder than the climb, and the young man stumbled and fell many times, but he persevered, driven by the promise of the leaf that lay ahead, and when he finally reached the cave, he saw the leaf lying there, gleaming in the light that filtered in from the entrance. He picked up the leaf and marveled at its beauty, but then he realized that he had a problem. How was he going to get back up the mountain and return the leaf to the monk? For a moment, the young man considered giving up. But then he remembered the sense of accomplishment and pride that he had felt when he had reached the mountain peak. He knew that he had the strength and determination to do it again, and so he climbed back up the mountain. His muscles ached and he felt out of breath, but he did not give up. He pushed himself to keep going, driven by the knowledge that he had overcome his own laziness and accomplished something truly remarkable. When he finally reached the monk's place and presented him with the leaf, the monk smiled and said, "Well done, my son. Today, you learned a profound lesson. Laziness is not a trait to accept but a challenge to overcome." The young man nodded, understanding the wise words of the monk. He realized that he had always been capable of great things, but his laziness had held him back. Now, he knew that he had the strength and determination to overcome any obstacle that lay in his path. When we push ourselves to achieve our goals even when they seem impossible, we discover strength and resilience within ourselves that we never knew existed. To overcome laziness, we must challenge ourselves and set ambitious goals, no matter how difficult they may seem. We must cultivate discipline and consistency in our daily habits by setting a schedule and sticking to it. We can build good habits that help us to stay focused and productive even when we don't feel like it. Another important aspect of overcoming laziness is to cultivate a growth mindset. This means viewing challenges and failures as opportunities for growth and learning, rather than as reasons to give up. By adopting a growth mindset, we can reframe our thinking about failure and use it as a catalyst for improvement. We must cultivate the willingness to step out of our comfort zone and embrace the challenges that lie ahead of us. The story speaks of the transformative power within us, urging us to challenge ourselves, cultivate discipline, and embrace a growth mindset. It illustrates the journey from idleness to accomplishment, inspiring all to ascend their personal mountains and discover the boundless strength within. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, share it with your loved ones. Thanks for watching.